everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a blue-collar wine show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're in a little Husky respect here. 12-0, Huskies. I tell you what, though, the Apple Cup was... the Cougars came to play, and the Huskies got a little bit lucky. But they're still 12-0. Now they have to face Oregon. And we'll see what happens. December's coming up. Lots of parties going on. Christmas parties at home. Company Christmas parties. Lots going on in December. And of course, at the end of December, you have New Year's going into 2024. There'll be some bubbles coming on. We'll have an episode there. But I thought I'd do like 3 episodes on budget-friendly holiday wines. Because you know what? You're having people over. You want to not spend a ton of money. You just got done with Thanksgiving. You probably spent a bunch of money there. And, you know, you just want really good wines at a good price. So we're going to examine some wines. These wines, I'm familiar with these wines, but we're going to review them, look at them, and see how they turn out. What you're looking for in a party wine is wines that probably, you know, at least 70% of the people will like. And, you know, most people won't complain. They're coming to your house, right? They're getting free wine. But that being said, don't pull up a crap just because you know that. That's what I'm saying. So all these wines are under $15. In fact, they're a couple of bucks under $15. So I'm excited to try these. I'm familiar with them. We're going to go through them and see how they turn out. Okay? Here we go. So this is a very familiar winery from France, 2020, Famille, Perrin. They do Beaucastel, so they have a really good pedigree. But this is their Cotes de Rhone Reserve. And right now, I have it at the store, not promoting selling at the store, but for 12 bucks. And I think you can go to a lot of stores, if they hone in on the same deal I did, you're going to be able to find it for $12 to $14. I think straight up, it's about 15 bucks if they didn't get the deal. So this is a Cotes de Rhone, and Cotes de Rhones are generally a blend of Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre. This is predominantly Grenache. Let's give it a little rinse here. So this is 12 bucks. Now you say, well, do I want to go old world? Well, I understand your trepidation there. But if it's an old world wine that kind of has some new world qualities, that's okay. And like I said, once again, you might actually get people to say, hey, this isn't too bad. It's from France, right? So color, you know, fairly dark. This might have a little more Syrah in it. Seems like it might, based on the color. Let's see what we get on the nose. Well, it has blueberry for sure, a little bit of raspberry. It has some earthy elements to it, a little bit of dried bark. That's the other thing too. Got to understand that when you have company over, most of them aren't going to take time to really sniff the wine, really smell it, really get the aromas. Hopefully you have somebody that does, but who cares, you know, right? You might take the time to do that, but you know, the point is you're trying to entertain your guests and have a good wine that you're having with them, right? So blueberry, raspberry. There's just a hint of bacon fat on this one, which is not surprising, being as it might have some Syrah in it. And I'm getting some interesting, like, boysenberry notes on it as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. So very approachable tannins, smooth. They don't ever get gritty. They have a little attitude to them toward the end, but mostly the acidity that's there, you know, kind of comes through and gives it a freshness on the palate. I get a little licorice on the palate, which I didn't get on the nose, which is interesting. I get the boysenberry notes. I get the blueberry notes. I get the raspberry notes, hedging towards black raspberry. Nicely balanced. This is a softer style Cotes de Rhone that I think a lot of people would like because it's very, very approachable, easy to drink. It would go great with some, you know, like blue cheeses or things what you're serving. Cambozola would be awesome. Manchego, those would be really cool because, you know, you're serving appetizers. This would go with green olives, just saying. Yeah, great little appetizer wine. I love the blueberry raspberry notes on this with just a kiss of boysenberry coming through. A little bit of earthiness, but like I said, it's not overbearing. I would be hesitant to serve a really, really old world style wine at a Christmas party unless the entire group I invited is into that sort of thing. So this is just a nice, pleasing 12 bucks, guys. I mean, that's a really good deal for this wine. Nice and fresh finish. Good food wine because of the acidity. I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to go straight up beyond that. I think it's a way above average, but not quite, into the A category. But for 12 bucks, coming from a family of winemakers, Beaucastel, if you're familiar with that, they do an excellent Chateauneuf du Pape. So they know what they're doing. Great food wine, which you'd expect from the French people, any Europeans really that make wine, they think about food. So this would go great with appetizers, good wine, B wine. Let's move on. So we're going old world again here. This is the Cerqueira 2020 Lago Red from Portugal. It's from Douro. Great place for getting great values. Portugal is an amazing spot, really. I really love Portugal, and some of the stuff they do is just incredible. There's the Perrin, Famille Perrin, Cotes de Rhone. This is the Lago Douro Red. Tinto, I'm sure it has some Tinto Ruiz, things like that in it. Some Tempranillo. That's just very common for up in the Douro. Beautiful spot, by the way. Villanova de Gaia, across from Porto. Amazing place. And they do. This is very earthy on the nose. % alcohol from a great wine producing region. So I'm getting some interesting vegetable root notes on this. Definitely some candied currants coming through. Earth notes. A little candied dark cherry as well. Very interesting aromatics on this wine. Let's see what we get on the palate. So this also has good acidity, which again, you expect from a European wine stand. Don't spit all over your pants. Sorry. Nice, bright cherry notes. A little underscore of currants coming through. I'm even thinking a little blueberry on this one as well. I think Trincadeira is another wine they use up in that area. So this has a juiciness, a freshness, a juiciness, almost not quite crunchy. The acidity is balanced, very well integrated, but it makes your mouth water. I'm thinking, if you serve this wine, you're going to please a lot of people, but you have to have appetizers. You have to have a little charcuterie dish, some cheeses would be perfect with this wine. It's $10, guys, and I would love for people to be introduced to Portuguese wines, especially from the Douro, because they're such good values. Yeah. Even getting hints of chocolate. And like I said, the acidity is a little bit more than the Perrin wine, but with food, it would disappear. It would take up those salty meat dishes, anything. I'm sure when you're having a Christmas party, you're going to be serving appetizers and side dishes, and this would be perfect. Even with kebabs, if you have some kebabs, or if you did something like that, this would be perfect. There's some interesting, like almost a bright raspberry, bright blueberry coming through as well. Like I said, I think this is an excellent wine. I've been just burning through it at the store. A lot of people that have picked it up have come back for more. So, it has been a while since I've tasted it, probably a month or two. And this is just a nice refresher for me. What a great food wine. What a great wine to just serve at a party. I think this falls into the 60% category, but I think you'd be safe. because, like I said, if you're serving food, this wouldn't be the first one I'd serve. I'd go Perrin first, then I'd go to Lago, because, you know, by that time they're eating food, and this would just be a beauty. I'm going to go, I like the structure on this. I mean, $10, guys. The tannins are softer. They have a little edginess to them. That is because the acidity kind of works with the tannins. Love this wine. And it doesn't taste like it has 14% alcohol, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm going to go BB+. Solid wine. Good structure. And even if you're not having Christmas parties, you could actually put this away. And one of my most popular videos, can you age inexpensive wines? Thousands of views on that. I'm going to follow that up with a video or an episode called Do Cheap Wines Benefit from Age? Do cheap wines benefit with age? And I think that'll be very popular too, because I just discovered one in my cellar. Not to carry on a little bit, but that'll be in the episode, because I had a bottle and I was like, wow, crazy good. And it's inexpensive. So there you go, BB+, Lago Red from Portugal. So if you're feeling brave, you want to introduce them to some old world wines that are really good, especially with food, I would go with these. $10. $10, guys. That's a steal. Now, into the new world. 2016. Wow. 18. Sorry. Like I said, my eyes messing with me. Radical Vine. Probably has a little Cab, a little Merlot. Columbia Valley, 2018. Radical Vine. And this is part of the Lady Hill Winery in Oregon. But this is their Columbia Valley version, 2018. $12, guys. $12. Okay. We're talking some screaming values here. I think I did once that. I'm super stoked to do the next 2 episodes as well. I'm starting to kind of work my way through what... This is not as dark as the Duro Red, but it's pretty dark. Yeah, you can see through it a little bit. Let's see what we get on those. First thing that hit my mind was cola and root beer, which is kind of weird. Kind of a meat marinade thing going on. Umami. Definitely currants. Licorice. Pretty good hit of licorice, actually. I'm also getting kind of a, not quite bittersweet chocolate, but pretty close. Alright, let's see what we get on the palate. I like the nose. Okay. Chocolate comes through big time on this one. Nice, smooth, almost polished tannins, which is good when you're having a party. Remember, you got to divorce yourself from your palate and, you know, introduce what you think other people will like. Sometimes, unless you really want to be a sort of a jerk and just give them what you like. That's not being a jerk, but you know what I'm saying. It's free wine. So chocolate notes, currant notes. Nicely done wine. I mean, this is like one of those. This is like. I think that's my football coach said. You can't use the term no-brainer because you always have to use your brain, right? But that's a term a lot of people use. I just think this is an excellent party wine. It's smooth. It's delicious. It has those nice currant notes. Kind of a little bit of a brightness on the mid palate. A little freshness, which means it has acidity, which means it's good with food. There's a little bit of an earthy element to this wine, which I like. It's kind of cool. Then we get a little bit of a meat component coming through on the tannins, but they're still smooth. The cola root beer thing comes on the mid palate into the finish. It's very subtle. I would say a kiss of cola root beer. I like to use that term a lot. Not sure why. I'm not talking a big wet French kiss. I'm talking a little, you know, just a nice little smooch kiss. You know what I'm saying? Stelvin closures, by the way, except for the last one. Stelvin meaning screw cap. Don't mean to get fancy on you, but they used to call them Stelvin closures. Now they just call them screw caps, which are great at a party, by the way. Great. I love the chocolate notes, just a touch of licorice, currants. I think it has a little Syrah in it, just my guess, but I get some of that Syrah element, a little bit of smokiness, just a touch of smokiness underneath. I'm gonna go straight up B minus B. Just a great party wine, great party wine. Let's move on. So Charles Beeler and Charles Smith team up a lot on wines, and this is called the Double Trouble by Charles & Charles, 2019, Washington State, 58% Syrah, 42% Cab. This rolls in at $11. Double Trouble. Color, just a little bit, you can see through it. I've met Charles Smith, he's a nice guy. He reminds me a little bit of Sammy Hagar. Big old hair, you know. But he's very nice to me. Went down to his winery down there in, near Boeing. And yeah, I think that Charles Smith is a great winemaker. And, you know, good businessman. And, you know, he's been generous to a lot of people that he's dealt with. So, you know, I like his wines. Let's see what we get on those. Oh, how do you get eucalyptus out of a Washington wine? Currants, a little bit of mintiness, just a hair. Dark cherries, currants, a little bit of licorice, black licorice as well. There's a really brightness to the aromatics that I'm just trying to nail. Just cherries, currants, licorice. Sort of an umami character on the nose as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is the only one with the cork. The rest are screw caps. Well, by the fourth wine, you're like going, wow, now your palate's getting a little dried out. Nice upfront fruit without going over the top. Get a little bit of, just a hint of brown sugar on the finish. The tannins are, I wouldn't call them polished or smooth. They're approachable. I don't think it would off-put anybody. A little bit of a grippiness on the backside, which is okay. Again, maybe you're going to be doing little toothpicks and steak, whatever you're going to be doing. That mintiness comes through on the palate, especially on the mid palate. Currant notes, dark cherry, a little bit of licorice coming through. Like I said, the tannins get a little bit of an attitude on the back end. That's okay. Like I said, if you're having a charcuterie dish or something, who cares? But initial attack, it's okay. I think this is what I would call a really good party wine because it's $11. It's delicious. It has some structure to it. It's not a goopy kind of flabby wine at all. It doesn't taste fake to me at all. The Syrah is interesting in this one because Syrah has certain characteristics that I look for in a wine. But maybe right on the back end I get just a little bit of bacon fat, which is very common for Syrah. And yes, okay, now it's coming to me. Really good hit of blueberry, kind of raspberry on the mid palate. There it comes. I see it now. Yeah, I can see it on the nose. It's very... Definitely swirl in your mouth. It just kind of opens things up. I like this wine. I think Charles & Charles did a great job. A collaboration, Double Trouble, great name. Again, I love the label. You know, the two, forks of lightning, Double Trouble. Great label. Great label. But who cares about it? I care about the label only from a retail standpoint. But this 2019 was a great vintage. This is great wine. I'm going to go B+ on this wine as well. Good acidity too. That's the part I didn't mention. Again, all these wines have nice balanced acidity, great for food, and none of them taste like they have makeup, no additives, all that sort of thing that goes on with those. No lipstick, nothing to cover up what's there. I love it. B+. There you go. The first 4 wines. I think I'm going to do 2 more segments on wines that are good for Christmas parties. I hope they help you. I hope you can find these wines wherever you're at. Radical Vine is from Lady Hill Winery. You should be able to find Double Trouble. It's a Charles Beeler wine. Lago Red from Washington State Veers. Veers, V-E-H-R-S, distributes it, so you can go to your local wine shop and say, hey, I like this. And Famille, Perrin, Beau Castel. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate your support. I'm 160 away from 1,000 followers, so I hope to get there in sometime soon. I'm really looking forward to doing that. And, ignorant me, like my video. If you like this video, like it. Somehow that helps me. I don't know. I'm kind of a, techno geek, not ignorant techno guy. But evidently, if you like this video, somehow it helps me out. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.